Today, I will show you why the mask of mercy is the sharpest weapon of all. You believe kindness is weakness, but I tell you, kindness, when worn as a mask, can enslave more hearts than armies of steel. For mercy is not softness, it is strategy, disguised as virtue. It is a cloak draped over the blade of power. It is a silence that hides the dagger. And when wielded well, it can bend nations without drawing blood. You see, men do not fear the tyrant alone. They crave his forgiveness. They do not only tremble before the executioner, they fall in love with the hand that spares them. Power is not only domination through terror, it is domination through gratitude. If you can make your enemy thank you for not destroying him, then you have conquered his soul twice, once through fear and once through mercy. That is why mercy is sharper than the sword. Never forget, people are prisoners of perception. They are chained not by truth, but by appearances. And mercy is the grandest performance a ruler can stage. A single act of forgiveness can erase 10 acts of cruelty in the memory of the masses. A pardon, a smile, a gesture of grace, it becomes legend. And legends rule longer than armies. Mercy is the velvet glove that hides the iron fist. The hand that caresses is often the same hand that strangles. But the victim remembers only the softness, not the grip. And so rulers live longer in the songs of men when they are seen as merciful rather than cruel, even if behind their mercy hides necessity, cold calculation, and bloodstained logic. Let me tell you this, true mercy does not spring from the heart, it springs from the mind. The heart forgives because it is weak, the mind forgives because it is wise. When I say mercy, I do not speak of sentimental kindness. I speak of mercy as a strategy, a mask, a weapon. Mercy is not the absence of cruelty, it is the management of cruelty. For he who rules must choose carefully when to strike and when to withhold. To kill all enemies is clumsy. To forgive one and enslave him with gratitude, that is art. Cruelty kills the body, but mercy commands the soul. Remember this line, for it is a key to the labyrinth of power. Consider this truth. Fear alone makes subjects obey, but fear breeds hatred. Hatred is a poison that waits in silence, that one day will strike when you are most vulnerable. Mercy dilutes hatred. It is the sweet honey poured into the cup of terror. Men will excuse cruelty when they have tasted mercy, for they believe you capable of restraint, of humanity. And so, they love you even as they obey you in fear. The greatest rulers of history mastered this duality. Julius Caesar pardoned his enemies, and in that mercy, he bound Rome to him with chains stronger than iron. Alexander spared conquered kings, and those kings became his loyal shadows. Even Christ, whether you believe or not, did not conquer through terror, but through the theater of forgiveness. Mercy is theater, my friend. It is spectacle, and the world is always watching. But understand this also. Mercy without power is nothing. Mercy is powerful only when you are capable of cruelty. A weak man who forgives is not merciful, he is harmless. True mercy terrifies, because it comes from one who has the power to destroy. Only the hand that can crush is feared when it chooses to caress. You see the paradox? Mercy is sharp because it cuts twice. It wounds with gratitude, and it wounds with dependence. The one who receives your mercy is no longer free. He owes you his life, his reputation, his survival. And debt is the most invisible chain of all. The debt of mercy is a crown of thorns. Once placed on the head, it cannot be removed. And so, you must wield mercy like a craftsman, not like a fool. Use it when the audience is watching, when it multiplies your reputation, when it binds the hearts of men. Never give it cheaply, never offer it carelessly. For too much mercy makes you appear weak, and weakness invites predators. Show mercy sparingly, like gold coins tossed to the hungry. Give just enough to feed their loyalty, but never enough to make them forget you hold the power. But I do not speak only to princes and rulers. I speak to you, worker, dreamer, warrior, creator, one who feels lost in the storms of this world. Do not think mercy belongs only to kings. Mercy is for you too. In the battles of life, you will find enemies, rivals, doubters, those who seek to pull you down. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is not to crush them, but to forgive them. Not because you are soft, but because your mercy reminds them of their smallness. When you forgive from a position of strength, you elevate yourself above them. You rise beyond their petty hatred. They remain trapped in bitterness, but you stand free, untouchable. And here is a truth to etch into your soul. Mercy given from strength is dominance. Mercy given from weakness is surrender. But do not misunderstand me. This is no sermon of soft hearts. I do not tell you to forgive all. There are enemies you must strike swiftly, without hesitation. There are threats that mercy cannot cure. A snake that has bitten once will bite again. A wolf that has tasted blood will return to the flock. Against such enemies, mercy is suicide. Against such enemies, cruelty is mercy to yourself. Oh, the wisdom is this: discriminate. Know when to kill and know when to spare. A fool spares everyone, a tyrant spares no one. But the wise ruler, the wise human, spares selectively, striking terror in some while earning loyalty in others. Balance the sword with the mask. That is the dance of power. You begin to see now why I call mercy the sharpest weapon? Because it is both armor and dagger. It shields your reputation, and it cuts into the hearts of men. It allows you to rule through fear without being hated, through love without being deceived. Mercy is paradox made flesh. It is weakness wielded as strength. But let us step deeper into the labyrinth. Let us speak of masks. Every human wears masks. Some wear the mask of virtue, others the mask of faith, others the mask of loyalty. But the most dangerous and useful mask is the mask of mercy. When you wear it, no one sees your calculation. They see only your humanity. They believe you are kind, forgiving, gentle. They cannot imagine the dagger hidden beneath your smile. And that blindness is your advantage. History is written by those who wore masks. The Borgias ruled with blood, yes, but also with displays of mercy that made their cruelty seem excusable. Napoleon crowned himself emperor, but pardoned enemies so that he seemed magnanimous. Even modern leaders listen carefully when elections, not through cruelty, but through performances of mercy, compassion, generosity. Yet behind every smile is calculation. Behind every pardon lies strategy. Never trust a man's mercy unless you can see the blade he hides. And yet, even as I reveal this, I must inspire you. Do not think mercy is only deception. Mercy, when understood, becomes a source of strength for your own soul. When you master the art of forgiving from power, you free yourself from the poison of vengeance. You rise above your wounds. You learn that your destiny cannot be controlled by those who wronged you. Mercy, then, becomes not only a mask to rule others, but a crown to rule yourself. Think of your own life. How many times have you been betrayed, underestimated, mocked, or abandoned? How many nights have you dreamt of revenge? But what is revenge, if not chains binding you to the past? Mercy cuts those chains. Mercy says, I will not be defined by your wound. I will define myself by my strength. That is why mercy is the sharpest weapon. It kills the past, and it kills weakness, and it kills the illusion that others can control your spirit. The highest victory is not to destroy your enemy, but to render him powerless in your mercy. And yet, do not let this inspiration soften you too much, for the mask must remain. Never reveal the full truth of your mercy. Never show it as weakness. Never give it without reason. Every act of mercy must be seen as a choice, not an obligation. Every pardon must feel like a gift, not a duty. Do you understand? Mercy must never appear cheap. It must feel costly, deliberate, rare. Only then will it be remembered, repeated in whispers, carved into legend. You may wonder, why does mercy work so well upon men? The answer lies in the frailty of human nature. Man is not ruled by logic, nor by justice, nor by truth. He is ruled by memory, by story, by the illusions he clings to when the world grows unbearable. And mercy is the most intoxicating illusion of all. When you forgive a man, you rewrite his memory. You give him a story in which you are not merely a rival or ruler, you are his savior. In his mind, you become the one who lifted the sword but did not strike, the one who could have ended him but instead chose to let him live. And once a man believes you are his savior, he becomes your prisoner, not in chains of iron, but in chains of gratitude. Gratitude is invisible, but it binds stronger than shackles. Here lies a secret. Cruelty creates obedience, but mercy creates loyalty. A man obeys the tyrant because he must, but he follows the merciful one because he feels he owes. And debts of gratitude are debts that gnaw at the soul. People repay them not only with service, but with devotion. Gratitude is the sweetest form of slavery, for it convinces the slave he is free. Yet beware, for this same sweetness can poison the master. Too much mercy, too much forgiveness, too much softness, and the ruler becomes the servant. Have you not seen men in power undone because they wish to be loved too much? The man who forgives endlessly becomes a doormat, not a king. His enemies learn that his mercy is guaranteed, and thus, his mercy loses all value. The art, therefore, is balance. Mercy must always rest on a foundation of fear. Without fear, mercy is invisible. It is only when men know what you are capable of that your mercy shines like the sun breaking through the storm. Let me show you an image. Imagine a lion. When it roars, the jungle trembles. But if that lion one day spares a lamb, the world is astonished. They do not see weakness, they see majesty. They say, the lion could kill, yet chose to spare. This is the essence of power. Mercy is powerful only when it flows from a position of absolute dominance. Thus, when you wield mercy, make sure your enemies and followers alike never forget the claws you hide. A lion who spares without roar is mistaken for a sheep, but a lion who roars and then spares becomes legend. And is this lesson not for your own life as well? Have you not been tempted to prove your strength in ways that destroy rather than build? To lash out at those who doubt you? To crush rather than forgive? Listen to me. Sometimes the greatest display of strength is not destruction, but restraint. Do not waste your claws on every insect that bites you. Roar and choose when to strike. Spare when it profits you. Destroy when it must be done. This is not morality. This is strategy. Restraint is the highest proof of strength. The man who controls his fury controls his destiny. You see, men are not only enemies to be crushed, they are resources to be used. An enemy spared may one day serve you better than an ally who has grown complacent. Hatred can be transformed into loyalty with a single gesture of mercy. And in that transformation lies empire. But remember also, mercy is performance. Do not think it enough to forgive in silence. No, mercy must be seen, spoken of, dramatized. A ruler who forgives in private is forgotten. A ruler who forgives in public is immortalized. Men remember spectacles, not whispers. Therefore, when you forgive, let the world see. Let them say, here is a man who could have crushed, but chose to save. In their voices, your legend will grow. Consider Caesar once more. He pardoned Brutus, he spared his enemies, and Rome adored him for it. Yet that same mercy became the dagger that ended him, for Brutus struck despite the forgiveness he received. This is the danger. Mercy does not guarantee loyalty, it only increases the chance of it. Never place your survival entirely on another man's gratitude. Always pair mercy with vigilance. Forgive, but never forget. Spare, but never sleep. Mercy without vigilance is suicide. Now let us turn from rulers to creators, to dreamers, to those who labor in the quiet halls of ambition. What is mercy to you? Mercy is the ability to forgive those who doubted you, those who mocked you, those who betrayed you, without letting their poison define you. Mercy is choosing not to let bitterness consume your path. For bitterness is chains, but mercy is freedom. Think of it. If you rise in this life, if you build greatness, you will have enemies. Some will try to sabotage you. Others will spit upon your name. Shall you let their venom live in your veins? Or shall you rise above them, smiling, and leave them behind? That is the mercy I teach you. For when you forgive from strength, you cut the rope that ties you to their smallness. You walk forward untouchable. Yes, forgive, but do not forget. Do not allow them back into your circle unless it profits you. Mercy does not mean trust. It means elevation. You rise above their hatred, but you do not invite the serpent back into your bed. The paradox of mercy is this. It is both dagger and shield. When you wield it against others, it wounds them with gratitude. When you wield it within yourself, it shields you from the poison of vengeance. Both are necessary, for the man who cannot forgive remains a slave to the past, and the man who forgives without wisdom remains a slave to betrayal. Balance, 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 always balance. Mercy is poison to hatred, but antidote to vengeance. Let me reveal another layer. Mercy is not only about individuals, it is about systems, about nations, about cultures. Entire empires have been built and destroyed upon the perception of mercy. Rome endured because it granted citizenship to conquered peoples. It spared and absorbed rather than annihilated. By mercy, it became eternal, until cruelty and corruption rotted it from within. Even religions, those greatest architects of human souls, thrive upon mercy. The Church offered forgiveness, redemption, salvation, and in that mercy, billions became its subjects willingly. Mercy enslaves more hearts than any sword, because men would rather serve one who pardons than one who punishes. This is why the mask of mercy has endured across centuries, across empires, across worlds. And yet, I return to you, the individual. Your destiny is no less great than that of nations. In your small world, in your personal empire, mercy is still the sharpest weapon. Learn to wield it. When you are insulted, rise above it. When you are doubted, prove them wrong, but without bitterness. When you are betrayed, do not let the betrayal consume you. Smile, forgive, move forward. But never forget. Never let mercy blind you to danger. Forgive always, but forget never. Do you see the pattern? Mercy is fire when used wisely, but ashes when used foolishly. If you forgive too quickly, you appear weak. If you forgive too rarely, you appear cruel. But if you forgive with calculation, if you forgive with spectacle, if you forgive with restraint, then your mercy becomes immortal. And yet, some will ask, is it not better to be feared than loved? Did I not once write these very words? Yes, I did, and I do not recant them. It is still safer to be feared than loved, for fear is certain, while love is fickle. But understand this, mercy does not replace fear. Mercy beautifies fear. Mercy makes fear palatable, acceptable, even desirable. A ruler who is only feared will be hated. A ruler who is feared and merciful will be revered. Fear without mercy is tyranny. Mercy without fear is impotence. Together, they create majesty. Thus, the art is infusion. Mercy alone cannot save you. Fear alone cannot sustain you. But together, they build empires. This, my friend, is the secret of power that the weak cannot grasp. Do you feel the fire awakening in you yet? Do you see that you need not be a king or general to wield these truths? Every life is a kingdom, every choice a battlefield, every relationship a negotiation of power. In all these, mercy has its place, as dagger and as shield. When you wear the mask of mercy, you disarm suspicion. People lower their guard around you. They confide in you. They open themselves. They trust. And trust is the richest soil in which to plant influence. A kind word at the right time, a gesture of forgiveness, a smile in the face of offense. These are seeds. Seeds that grow into forests of loyalty. But here is the darker truth. Not every seed grows straight. Some seeds grow twisted, poisoned, diseased. Mercy given to the wrong man becomes rope he uses to strangle you. Mercy given to the wrong woman becomes poison she slips into your wine. Therefore, be merciful but discerning. Ask always, does my mercy bind him closer, or does it free him to betray again? Mercy to the unworthy is cruelty to yourself. And here, my audience, I will strike your heart with inspiration once more. Life will test you. It will place daggers in the hands of those closest to you. It will make you bleed from wounds you did not expect. And when that happens, you will stand at a crossroads, vengeance or mercy. I tell you this, vengeance is fire, but it consumes both enemy and master. Mercy is fire also, but it illuminates the path forward. Choose wisely. But listen carefully now, for we draw closer to the sharpest edge of the blade. All this time, you have seen mercy as performance, as strategy, as dagger hidden in velvet. Yet mercy is also mirror. A mirror that shows the world not who you are, but who they wish you to be. Men need to believe their leaders are human. They need to believe their enemies can be forgiven. They need to believe the world still bends toward justice. When you give them mercy, you give them this illusion. And an illusion, once believed, is stronger than truth. This is why mercy outlasts cruelty. Cruelty is remembered with hatred, but mercy is remembered with longing. A man never forgets the one who spared him. A people never forget the ruler who forgave them. And even when betrayal comes, even when daggers pierce your back, your mercy is sung in the mouths of the crowd. They weep for you. They glorify you. They turn you into legend. Mercy writes its name in the blood of memory. Cruelty erases itself in the dust of time. But you must understand the cost. Mercy is never free. Every time you forgive, you place yourself at risk. You gamble that gratitude will bind tighter than hatred. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does not. Caesar gambled and lost. Others gambled and won. The risk is unavoidable. Yet what is greatness, if not risk embraced? Mercy is not for the coward. Mercy is for the strategist, for the gambler, for the one who understands that to walk among men as a god, you must sometimes play at being human. And here is where mercy transforms into something more than strategy. Mercy becomes destiny, because when you show mercy, you shape the world's story. You remind mankind that power can be more than destruction, that it can create, forgive, elevate. You create myths, and myths rule longer than armies. Think of it in your own life. You may not command legions, you may not wear a crown, but you, too, are building a story. You, too, are writing a myth. And your acts of mercy, your moments of restraint, your choices to rise above hatred, become the chapters that echo long after your battles are done. Do you want to be remembered as the one who destroyed, or the one who could destroy, yet chose to forgive? History bows not to those who kill the most, but to those who shape the tale. I tell you now, there is no mercy without power, and no power without discipline. A man who cannot master his own rage cannot wield mercy. He is a slave to impulse, not a ruler of it. To forgive, truly forgive, is to prove that you command yourself before you command others. For he who rules himself is the only one fit to rule the world. So train your heart as you train your sword. Teach your spirit to know when to release, when to strike, when to spare. Mercy is timing. Mercy is rhythm. Mercy is music played upon the strings of human nature. Strike the wrong chord, and you will be betrayed. Strike the right one, and you will be immortalized. You see how mercy and ambition intertwine? For what is ambition if not the will to shape destiny? And what is destiny if not the story others tell of you when you are gone? Ambition without mercy creates terror, but dies with fear. Ambition with mercy creates awe and lives forever. Fear makes men obey. Mercy makes them remember. Let me remind you again, do not confuse mercy with naivety. Naivety is blindness. Mercy is sight sharpened by patience. The naive man forgives because he sees no danger. The merciful man forgives because he knows the danger, yet masters it. Mercy without awareness is suicide. Mercy with awareness is supremacy. And to those who despair, to those who feel broken, listen, your suffering itself can become your weapon. Have you been wronged? Have you been betrayed? Then you already hold the power to forgive. And that forgiveness, when wielded from a position of survival, transforms you into something more than human. It transforms you into a figure of destiny. The one who survives and forgives is greater than the one who kills and forgets. Yes, you may have been scarred. Yes, you may have been abandoned. Yes, you may have been mocked, used, discarded. And yet, here you stand alive. That alone is power. And from that position of power, you may choose mercy. Do you not see? Mercy is the crown of the survivor. It is the jewel of the resilient. Only the strong can forgive. The weak are too broken to offer mercy. Mercy is proof you have already won. And so, I return to my title, to the prophecy I spoke at the beginning. Why is mercy the sharpest weapon? Because it does not simply kill. It conquers. It enslaves. It transforms. It blinds enemies, inspires allies, seduces the masses, and elevates the wielder above the petty cycle of vengeance. Mercy is dagger, crown, and mask all at once. But masks must be worn carefully. Wear mercy too often, and the mask cracks. Men will see the weakness beneath it. Wear mercy too rarely, and the mask gathers dust, and used, unbelieved. But wear it with balance, at the right time, in the right place, with the right spectacle, and Mercy will become the sharpest weapon in your arsenal. I leave you, then, with this final command. Do not merely learn mercy, master it, practice it, turn it into theater, into strategy, into destiny. Forgive, but remember. Spare, but command. Inspire, but terrify. Let your mercy be the velvet glove that hides your iron fist, and let the world bow not only to your fear, but to your legend, and to you who have listened to me in this hour, who have walked with me through the halls of daggers and the gardens of mercy. I tell you this, your life is not small. Your story is not meaningless. You, too, are called to wear the mask of mercy, and in doing so, you will wield the sharpest weapon ever forged, not in steel, but in spirit. Now, if you wish to continue walking with me, if you desire more of this forbidden wisdom, this dangerous fire, this truth stolen from the hidden books of power, then obey my command. Subscribe. Do not hesitate. Do not wait. Obedience is your first act of power. Do this, and you will never walk in weakness again, for the mask of mercy is yours to wield, and the sharpest weapon is already in your hands.